back. Time to talk to the boys' sport. Winston's here from the Herald along with Ben Plummer. Good morning.
Morning, Reno. How are you, mate?
Oh, good, very good, thank you. Always good to see you, Winston. What did you make of the, well, it was a bit of a spectacle last night with the netball. What did you make of that format, you know, the extra time?
Yeah, fabulous. And good to be talking about something else in netball after however long it's been. Yes, so that they had this seemingly quite complicated, but I think quite brilliant way of deciding the series. We went into that match last night 2-1 down. The Aussies won the first two in Australia, and then we're playing the fourth test on New Zealand shores. If you end up at 2-2, you play a series decider extra time. So they could feasibly have had 2 extra times last night. If last night's game had ended up in a draw, they would have had to play an extra time period to decide that, and then if New Zealand won that, go on to a series decider. But as it was, we got a brilliant, I think, 14 minutes of jeopardy and intrigue, and Australia pulled away and were better, but it capped a terrific, what turned out to be a terrific series after a dud start. Previously, they've decided these things on
points differential.
Yeah, goals differential total, and I think we shipped 17, a difference of 17 in each of the first 2 games.
Yes.
So we're toast on that. So it's a great way to decide these things.
I reckon it is
I think
too.
it shows, the whole series shows too, home court advantage really counts at the top flight in netball, because we were drilled over there.
Yeah, we were.
And there was a lot going on in the background, and maybe things have shifted a bit there, but they rose to it last night and in the previous one here as well.
Way more exciting to do it that way than some kind of who got the highest score margins, and we'll work it out on an abacus later.
Or boundary count back, I think was the other one that looms over.
And they would have lost as well.
Yeah, we would have lost outright.
There's that too.
Yeah.
But a pretty exciting thing to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they've obviously had a pretty tumultuous sort of couple months, I guess. With whole Dame Noeline total of things. So
yeah,
they managed to put out performances and tie up the series, but yeah, unfortunate to fall short at the end, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully now that that's all been put to bed, for now, they'll all come right, won't it, Winston?
Yeah, I hope so. And we've talked about this before. As journalists, we love the intrigue and the off-court dramas, but also when you love the sport and you love to see it played well in an exciting event. So
exactly. All right, cricket. Ben, the Black Caps beat England yesterday in the one day in Hamilton. Who were your stand-up performers?
They did. Look, the bowlers, the Black Caps bowlers had, we were without Matt Henry, who's been, pretty safe for them and probably the standout. So they had to sort of contest with, taking on England without him. I think Blair Tickner bowled really well. He had a career best. He had four wickets for 34 runs. So, the career best figures. So, really helped out there. And I think on the other side of it, Daryl Mitchell and Rachin Ravindra, they both had good innings. Daryl Mitchell had an unbeaten 50 and Rachin had a 50 as well. So, I think in Daryl Mitchell's case, he's a number 4. He averages 51 in ODIs. So, he's pretty safe and it's something we, probably take for granted a bit. But, yeah.
I think that the Tickner rising like this, it's been nearly 3 years since he's played any cricket for the Black Caps, and it just sort of underlines the depth they've got at the minute.
Yeah.
In that area, we've seen some absolute stalwarts of the game leave. In fact, there's a great moment of the game last night when Kane Williamson gets out, and the camera briefly catches the English bowling coach, Mr. Timothy Southey, formerly of Whangarei, and he's sitting there, and he's got a rain hood over himself, and he looks kind of torn about it, happy that the team he's working for are doing well, but probably not delighted to see Kane go out. But the other interesting thing on the ODI is just how meaningless it is. Compared with at the same time that netball was going on, it was dramatic and really the Constellation Cup, we know what it means and it's worth a lot. But these ODI series are just rolling around. They add up to nothing.
There's always something new going. I honestly can't keep up with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, and the thing hanging over this one, with anything the England cricket team ever does, all they're talking about is the Ashes.
It's the Ashes.
So even today, the English papers, their match reports on that piece are just all about how did Jofra Archer look with the Ashes coming up? And I get it, it's a big deal, the Ashes is a big deal, but you're here and, there's a thing going on. So,
But they just don't really care about the thing.
Not much. No.
There's the problem. Rugby, Winston, All Blacks in Chicago today. This is very exciting. Big crowd expected against Ireland. Teams named tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's a sellout. Team named I think it's 5:30 or 6 a.m. tomorrow, our time. Liam Napier, our rugby correspondent, is over there. He's got a bit of a sniff on who to expect in the lineup. So we're thinking Bowden will be back in at 10, and a few other important selections there that kind of suggest what Razor sees as his key lineup for not just this game, but moving on through the next three, with the third game of the series, England being possibly the big stumbling block. Although our other rugby correspondent in Chicago at the moment, Scotsman Gregor Paul, would tell you that they're in trouble in Edinburgh. So, we'll watch out for that.
All right. Ben, last time we played in Ireland and Chicago, we lost.
Yes.
Does that mean is there like a hoodoo?
It's hard to gauge because it was 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
And also, the time before that we played it in Chicago, we put 70 points on USA. So I think that they're not going to look into that too much, I don't think. Ireland are going to look to the high ball, so as long as they get that right, I think they'll be right. And it'll be good spectacle as well, sold out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Sold out game in Chicago.
That's where our insurance, is it Gallagher? Who sponsors the All Blacks these days?
Gallagher's jumped on that one, I think.
And they're based there, they're headquartered in Chicago. So it's going to be very corporate-y, I imagine, for them.
There's a whole corporate circus following them around, and our other rugby correspondent in Chicago at the moment.
How many you got?
Right, is Shane Curry, the Herald's media insider is over there, and he's doing a lot of work on the business of the All Blacks, so he's meeting a lot of those sponsors.